Zodiac placements most likely to achieve wealth. Have you ever wondered if you will get rich? Some people are more prone to achieving wealth than others, and astrology can show us why. In astrology, money and finances are ruled by the 2nd and 8th houses or the 2nd-8th house axis of the birth chart. The 2nd house shows resources and income while the 8th house shows us joint finances, or the wealth you may share with others such as a spouse or through a business partnership. The 8th house also shows investments, taxes, real estate and inheritances. Typically, the 8th house is referred to as the house of regeneration, taxes and death, and it rules these matters as well. Other houses relevant to wealth accumulation include the 5th and 11th houses. The 5th house of the chart is the house of pleasure. Though we typically look to the 5th house as governing children, friends and dating, it rules other forms of pleasure such as gambling, so placements here can also affect your relationship with money. The 11th house can come into play as it is the house of hopes and wishes, and planets placed in this house can indicate dreams that may well come true as well as your connection with the public. Certain placements in and aspects connected to these houses often predict wealth. Millionaire aspects in the natal chart. The first step in terms of determining wealth is to look at any planets in the 2nd or 8th houses. If these houses are empty, look at the house's planetary rulers and what they aspect. Harsh Saturn, Uranus and Pluto aspects do not typically help create wealth. But if you have Jupiter or Venus in these houses, you will have a certain amount of luck with money. These planets alone don't guarantee wealth for everyone, but they will certainly help when it comes to having an easier life financially and paying the bills. 1. Jupiter and Venus aspects. Jupiter and Venus are the two financial planets in astrology. Jupiter is a benefic planet representing expansion, gain and wealth, and it increases knowledge, wisdom and opportunities for creating wealth. Jupiter increases your luck and generally makes everything better in life in the house it is located in, along with any planetary connections it makes. Venus represents money, beauty and the pleasures and comforts of life. The position of Venus, along with the sign it is in, can also have a great deal to do with the accumulation of wealth, along with Jupiter. Aspects with Venus, Jupiter and Pluto typically fall in the charts of those who will be around large sums of money at some point in life regardless of early circumstances, such as Venus conjunct Pluto, Jupiter conjunct Pluto, Venus trine Pluto, Jupiter trine Pluto, Jupiter opposite Pluto, Jupiter or Venus in the 2nd or 8th house, Jupiter and or Venus in Taurus. If you have more than one of these aspects, you are much more prone to achieving wealth. One of these aspects may not make the individual wealthy, although that is a subjective statement according to the individual definition of wealth. It should certainly help matters along no matter what, and this person is likely to realize they have a certain amount of luck in the financial realm. 2. Saturn aspects. Despite its status as a malefic planet, Saturn in the 2nd house does not automatically deny wealth. Saturn does rule time, and many with this placement acquire money later in life. Of course, we must look at what aspects Saturn makes from the 2nd house as well. If Saturn is trine Jupiter or Venus, wealth is very possible. If it, Saturn, is square Venus, Saturn or Pluto, the accumulation of wealth is not as likely. Saturn in the 2nd house is typically found in individuals who do not like to take big risks with money, so wealth accumulation can be slower. This individual may have a fear of not having enough, being enough, or feeling safe enough. Some individuals with Saturn in the 2nd come from wealthy families and old money. Others come from families that were poor, hence the fear of not having enough money. The hardest challenge of Saturn in the 2nd may be letting go of the feeling of not having enough and scarcity. These people can be quite wise when it comes to managing money, and they are never gamblers unless there is some mitigating aspect. The 8th house represents many things including others people's resources or money. Again, though, the real question concerns what Saturn connects with from this house. If it trines Jupiter or Venus, wealth can be inherited, or you could be born into a wealthy family or have a wealthy spouse. If Saturn squares the malefic planets, wealth will be harder to come by. Saturn alone in the 8th house making no aspects, or making hard transits, can mean that you should not depend on a partner and may be forced to make your own money with little assistance from others. 3. Planets in the 8th house. Since the 8th house represents your relationship with someone else's money, those born with planets here can indicate wealth that comes through money from others as long as they do not make harsh aspects with malefics. Many people born with Jupiter and/or Venus in the 8th house are dependent on their partner's incomes and do not work at all, instead preferring to live the life of a homemaker, or simply not work for whatever reason. Bezos was not born with Jupiter or Venus in the 2nd or 8th houses. In fact, he has no planets in those houses, but the ruler of his 2nd house, Taurus, is Venus. His Venus lies in the 8th house of hopes and wishes, and it is conjunct Saturn. Saturn-Venus aspects are typically great aspects for business and creating business deals, and Bezos has certainly filled that role. This transit, however, does not help his love life. Bezos' 8th house is Scorpio, another sign associated with money. Mars and Jupiter are the planetary rulers of his 8th house. Mars falls in business-oriented Capricorn in his career house. Bezos' 6th house, which rules work, contains the generational Uranus-Pluto combination, which can be connected with brilliance in terms of work and career. These planets sextile his Neptune in Scorpio, ruler of the 8th house of partnerships. This aspect shows vision, intuition concerning work and money, and beneficial work partners. Bezos's Jupiter falls in pioneering Aries in his 12th house, close to the ascendant. Jupiter in the 12th is often known for bringing in help at the last minute. In addition, Aries is ruled by Mars, which falls in his 10th house, showing a very energetic and driven career.